Hello, 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 and happy Sunday. It is tea time. As always, I'm so happy to have all of you join me this afternoon for a little tea and a little story. So, I see that there's about 6 people in the chat, which is awesome. Thank you. For a 4 o'clock on a Sunday when people are probably hanging out, relaxing with their families. Maybe you're eating, maybe you're watching TV. Who knows what you're doing? So I am honored that you would break yourself away from that to come and spend some time with me. So first order of business, as always, is to say hello individually to whoever is here. Arm distance, thank you for joining. Adam, I saw you were one of the first people today. Thank you so much for being here. Maureen, Mike F, as always. Wait a minute. No, not Mike F. What am I talking about? I don't see Mike F here. I'm going nuts here. I probably got an email from Mike F. so that I was thinking about him. Mike F was here. Oh, he's still here. Oh, okay. Maybe he is here. I see he is here. Thank you, Mike, for joining. Maureen, I said. Fiendu, my brother. Thank you for being here. Tommy Stiggs, always. Let's see if I'm missing anybody else here. Those are the people that have commented, I believe. Andrea, how are you? How are you, my friend? Thank you for stopping in before you go to sleep. I really appreciate it. So, 7 people in chat. It's awesome. So, anyway, what tea will we drink today? I don't have anything special today. So, nothing unique, like wine tasting, like a wine flavored tea, anything like that. Nothing really cool like that. I just have normal teas. So, what I'm going to do is look at my little box of tea here and see what we have. As you can see, this box, I got this box. Someone gave it to me for Christmas. It's a pretty neat little thing. It has a variety of teas in it. And on the front, it says, to me. It's pretty cool. There's engraving on the front. It's pretty nice. So a couple of tea. Let's see what type of teas are in here. We have a blueberry flavored tea. We have our standby green tea, which I drink all the time. I'm not going to drink that today. This is a mint tea. I don't know. It's called Nain. I never really heard of that, but that's cool, I guess. This is interesting. This is a cinnamon flavored tea. This one's blackberry. We have apple, lemon. I guess it's kind of like just putting lemon in your tea. This one, I don't even know what this one is. Oh, it's chamomile. It's a chamomile tea. What else? Anything else here? There's an awful lot of lemon here. This one is ginger, lemon, and ginger. So got a bunch of different ones to choose from. So I think what I'm going to do today is choose the blackberry. I've never tasted that before, so I'm going to try blackberry. And then we'll get to the story, which I hope you guys are going to like. So we have our little Japanese kettle here. We're going to put the bag in the kettle. We don't have it the tea separated, but this is just as good. You can do this as well. All right, putting the tea bag in the kettle. Then I'm going to get my water, which is heated up already. We're just going to let that brew for a while. We'll do a little steeping here. Oops, wait a minute. We don't want that. I don't want the pen. Okay. Put that. And we'll put that aside for a little bit to brew. I could smell it already, though. That's pretty cool. It does smell like some type of berry. So that's cool. All right. And of course, I have Nana's teacups with me. Let me see if anyone else in the chat I didn't acknowledge. I think I've acknowledged everybody. Maureen, yep. And I see we have 9 people in here, so. All right, so let's get to the story. Now, this story that I'm going to tell you is probably more suited for the fall because it is a ghost story or legend. But you know what? A good ghost story or legend works anytime, if you ask me. I really love that stuff. So hopefully you guys will find this interesting. And this one comes by word of mouth from the area in which I live now, which is Western Morris County, New Jersey. And the town I live in was once called German Valley, and it was changed later on. And basically what it is, it's a valley. There's a riverbed and a valley. And the Raritan, the south branch of the Raritan River runs through the valley. And that's the valley, and that's where the farms are. Most of the farms are down there in the valley. And then there's something called Schooley's Mountain, which is the mountain on one side of the valley. So it's a valley with a mountain on one side, and then the other one is more like a hill. You don't really call that side any type of mountain name or anything like that. But anyway, this is a tale that is been handed down over the years, and it goes back about 400 years, if you can believe that. So prior to the settlers coming here, we had an Indian tribe, that Native American, whatever you want to call it, Native American Indian tribe, which was called the Munsee. That's the name of the tribe. And it's a branch of the Lenape Indians. I'm sure you've heard of the Lenape Indians. But anyway, they inhabited this valley for, who knows, thousands of years for all we know. And they had a tradition of planting. The farmers, basically, this particular sect of the tribe was a farming sect. So they would plant in the valley, plant various vegetables in the valley in the spring. And then in the summer, they would migrate to the shore, kind of like a lot of other people in New Jersey right now. A lot of people in New Jersey traditionally live in the north or the eastern side, or on the north or the west of the state, and they will migrate when it gets hot to spend time in the shore because it's cooler. So these Native Americans would do exactly that. So the tradition we do now came from them. But anyway, that's the backdrop to this. So you have a tribe of Munsee Indians that basically plant in the spring. They leave the crops as is. They go to the shore for the summer, and then they come back in the fall and they harvest the crops. So so basically that's the backdrop. And that's the region where I live in now. And this story goes back to around 1620s, something like that. And there was a member of the tribe who was a young boy who was coming of age. And the Munsee tradition was when a boy would come of a certain age, he would have to go out on his own into the wilderness and prove himself to become a man. And how he would do this is they would give him an axe and a bow and arrow. And he would have to go up into Schooley's Mountain. So traditionally they live in the valley where the crops are. But he'd have to go up onto Schooley's Mountain and hunt by himself a buck and bring back that buck. And all he had was a hand axe and a bow and arrow. So one year, the year that which this story comes from, this young boy who's about to turn 16, something like that, goes out on his quest. And now the quest happens in the end of February, early March. So the end of the winter is traditionally when it would happen. You'd go up into the mountains and you'd have to do and survive and come back with that buck. So he does this. He goes off into the mountain. So he's up there hunting. Now, one of the part of the story that I haven't told you yet, though, is that this particular Muncie boy, as he was growing up, had a reputation for being very close to animals of all kinds. While the other boys were off playing games, he would be in the woods feeding animals, watching them, and some even said playing with them. So he just had an affinity for the natural wildlife in the area, and he kept that with him. So it was kind of difficult for him to have to go out and kill a buck on his own, but he was willing to do it because he wanted to be considered a man in the tribe. So he does this. He goes off into the wilderness in the end, towards the end of winter. So I'm going to pour my tea now. Now, this is interesting. Now, this is blackberry tea, right? Look at how dark this is. And it does have kind of a reddish look to it, much like the purple tea I had last week. That's pretty cool. And it smells, it has a real powerful, like cherry, like a berry smell. It really does. Now I'll tell you what it tastes like in a second, but and then I'll get back to the story real quick. But you know what? Let me take this off. Let me take this ticker off here. We don't need this ticker on here. Okay. That's kind of cool. It does taste like berries. Yeah, it tastes like a berry. I don't know if you've ever had a berry flavored drink. They sell them, iced teas, berry flavored and such. This does taste like that, you know. Now, obviously, there's no sugar in it. It's just the tea with the water, but it has like a natural sweetness to it. It's interesting. It's pretty cool. So anyway, back to the story. So the brave goes up into the mountains. Now he's out hunting, trying to get this buck, trying to kill this buck to come back and be a man, be declared a man by the tribe. Well, unfortunately, what happens is he slips on the rocks. Now, Schooley's Mountain has a lot of rock formations, big, thick rock formations. He slips and he tumbles. He tumbles down a cliff area. And when he hits the bottom, he breaks his leg. So, unfortunately, there's no one around for at least miles. And he has a broken leg. He's banged up pretty much. He's got cuts and bruises. He's bleeding. So it looks pretty bleak. And he thinks that it's going to be his end. He thinks that this is it, buddy. I'm done. Yeah, I'm out in the wilderness, a broken leg. What am I going to do? So what he does is he puts together some makeshift limb, whatever you call that, like a splint. That's what they call it, a splint. Out of some branches and some old vines that he found. And he hobbles his way to find some type of shelter. He like crawls at this point because the leg is broken. And he crawls to under this rock formation to try to, get some shelter from the weather and try to recuperate if he can. Now he has nothing but water pouch. That's all he has is, a skin filled with water. So he has water. He could survive for a time with the water, but he has no food. So he figures this is the end. Now, this is where this story gets really interesting because as he's there, basically dying, what begins to happen is the animals of the forest start to bring him food. The raccoon fishes in the lake. There's a lake on this mountain as well as a stream. Fishes fish out and brings him fish. The fox brought him dead rabbits and dead mice that he killed. The birds, the winter birds, brought him seeds that they had hid inside the barks of trees. And even the squirrels came and shared some of their nuts that they had accumulated for the winter. So this amazing thing happens in the sense that these animals help him and provide him with food. And because of that, he is able to survive. So he's there for 6 weeks as the leg heals, and the animals brought him enough food to survive. So at that point, he's able to walk. He hobbles. He's not really, can't run, can't really do things. But let me just say hi to Don. Don came into the chat. How are you, buddy? Paul C., how are you? Nice to see you. And so he begins to make his way back down the mountain. Forget about the buck. At this point, he's so banged up. He just wants to get back to the tribe and do some full healing there. So he makes his way down the mountain. And when he gets there, the tribe is gone. He has no idea where the tribe is. Now, he can't figure this out because this is not the time for migration. This is a time when they would be preparing to plant. It's the end of winter, the early spring. They're preparing to plant, but the tribe is completely gone. So at this point, he decides, I'm going to go off and find my tribe. And what he's going to do is, heal up a little bit more, but then follow the traditional trails that the tribe would take. Maybe they gave up, then went straight to the shore. So that's what he does. He follows the traditional trails that go down to the shore area. And he does this. And he gets there in about a month's time or whatever, hobbling. It takes him a while to get there. But he doesn't find them. And he has no idea where they are. So he turns around and he goes back. He goes back again. And he comes back to Long Valley. And he doesn't find them again. And this goes on for years. He's basically living on his own. And he cannot find his tribe. So what he decides to do is to go back up into the mountain and start over, basically. Let's go back up into the mountain, start over. Maybe I can get some revelation that will tell me where the tribe is. So he goes up the mountain. And there was a formation up there called that the tribe used to call, I forgot what they called it, but when the white man came, the German settlers came, they called it Throne Rock, because it looked like a throne. It looked like a big chair. So he goes there and, sits on that throne and begins to think and try to figure out a way to find his people. What was he going to do? How was he going to find his people? So in the meantime, what happens? Now, this was a few years later because it took him that long to get to this point, wandering around aimlessly, trying to find his tribe. A group of Dutch, not settlers, but hunters and trappers come into the area. And basically it's a new area for them. There's been no white people here. So they come in and they notice that there's a lot of game here. It's untouched. So they begin to trap and hunt. And hi, Ralph. Thanks for joining. And they're hunting, and he sees this happening. Now, remember, this brave had such a connection to the animals of this area that it hurts him to see this, that these white people, these strange people that he never knew of, came into the forest where he had been surviving and starts killing animals, keeping their skins, filling up a wagon or whatever they had to take the skins out and sell them, bring them back to civilization and sell them. So he's really upset about this, and he tries to interfere with them. He tries to stop them from doing this. He tracks them. He hides behind them. He tries to disrupt them, throwing rocks when they begin to shoot, or etc. and stuff like this. So he does a good job of disrupting them to the point where they eventually figure out that he is what he is, that he's a Native American there that's disrupting them. So they go after him. They grab him. They begin, a scuffle occurs up on the mountain. And what happens is he falls off the cliff, this time to his death, and dies. And legend has it that the way he fell into Throne Rock. So he's sitting there in Throne Rock. His body is dead in Throne Rock. So that's the legend of the story. Now, the interesting part about is that over the years, this legend has existed and has kind of expanded in the sense that over the years there have been reports of hunters on Schooley's Mountain who have traditionally had the worst luck with hunting. They would either not see any game at all when they go hunting, or their guns and equipment would malfunction. And it has really become like it really became like a dead zone for quite a while, where people wouldn't hunt there because there was no success. And the tradition or the legend says that it's the spirit of this brave who's wandering around there, still looking to repay the animals that helped him by disrupting any efforts to kill the animals by hunters and trappers. And to this day, you can ask people that they're not very successful when they hunt in Schooley's Mountain. Now, Schooley's Mountain is a park now. It's a preserved park, but they do allow hunting there and at certain times. And I have never met anybody who has been successful in killing an animal there and taking it home. Particularly deer. I never hear anything about anybody getting a deer in Schooley's Mountain Park. Never. And I've been here for 20 years, 20 plus years, and I've never heard about that. Now, in the off season, when it's not hunting, when there's no hunting, I walk through there all the time and I see deer all the time. Well, there's deer all the time there. I see the foxes, much like Freddie, who lives around near me, but I see fox, I see deer. I even saw bear there. So the forest itself has a lot of animals that live in it, but people are not successful in hunting there. Now, could that be the spirit of this brave? All these years, all these centuries later, hundreds of years later, still disrupting the hunting of animals to repay them for what they did for him when he was injured, and bringing him food and helped him recover from his injury. Who knows? It could very well be. So basically, that's the story. That is the ghost story. There've also been other people that have said that they've seen someone sitting on thrown rock, and it could be the spirit of this brave. But I've never really seen any proof of that or anything. It was just passing comments about that. But I love old stories like this that go back to the origins of the area. This is a word of mouth story that started being told by the Muncie tribe, and then was handed on to the farmers in Long Valley after they, and that's the other part of the story. Part of the story is that the story originated from the final or the last Muncie brave or the last Muncie tribe member that lived in the valley, and he passed it on to a farmer there. And we have this farmer, a descendant of the farmer, the Ort Farms. The Ort family has farmed this area for many years. And the story came through the Ort family because this Native American Indian shared it with a descendant from the current Ort family. So it's kind of cool. It's really all connected to the area and the families that live in this area, farm in this area, and everything. So that's my story. That's my little ghost and legend story, Native American Indian story. It's kind of cool. And so that's it. That's my story for today. So I hope you like that. That was pretty cool. I don't know if anyone else has joined. I see that people are talking in the chat, which is awesome, saying hello to each other. Gerard, I see Gerard joined. Thank you, Gerard, for joining. And I see a thing doing with my buddy saying, build the guild, as always. Thank you, my friend. Always backing me up. So I'm going to pour myself a little more tea this afternoon. And it is pretty relaxing, this tea, I'll tell you. It's really a calming tea, I think. Most of these specialty teas tend to have a calming influence on you. They're all very low in caffeine, so they're not going to hype you up. They're kind of going to, and the warmth of the tea is going to relax you a bit. Big Bones is here. Oh, Big Bones, how you doing, buddy? Thank you for joining. Really appreciate it. So that's my story, and I hope you liked it. And I want to say this again. If anyone else has a unique story and you want to use this platform for it, by all means, just email me. That would be awesome. You could either come on and say it, tell it yourself, or you can convey it to me and I'll tell it. I'd love to spread knowledge of unknown stories, like undocumented stories like this, because to me, they're the best and the most interesting. What type of tea, Don? It's a blackberry flavored tea. It is. Let me see what the manufacturer is. The manufacturer is Dagadon. Dagadon. I don't know. This came as part of a gift set. It has various flavors in it. That was given to me around Christmas. Not this year, last year. Not this past Christmas, the prior Christmas. So it's pretty cool. And it has all these different flavors in it. And I figured I'll just try the blackberry because I never tried it before. Yeah, Ralph, you bring up an interesting one. Yes, the White Lady of Branchbrook Park. Yes. Growing up in Belleville, we all heard that ghostly tale. Yeah, maybe we could do that. We could do that one. I don't know if there's a lot to that story, or it's just that the woman. I remember part of the story, but I'll have to look it up. But yeah, that's. I remember driving through. I remember driving through there at night looking for the White Lady. I never saw her, but I remember doing that. So ghost stories are always fun, and they always have some type of hint of reality in them. Like there's always something that really happened that's the basis of it. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, they are, they're the type that they come from somewhere. They don't just, nobody just makes them up. There's something that happened that created that story. So, um, oh, you have a photos of the tree. Yeah, the tree's gone, I believe, right? The tree's no longer there. I remember hearing that the tree's gone, but and you have a Facebook page on it. Cool. All right. Yes, Dean do. Lizzie Borden took an axe. Yes, Lizzie Borden, man. That's one creepy ass story, and that's true. That is completely true. There's no question about that. But that certainly is creepy. So I think I'm done with my tea. See if there's anything left. Oh, there's some left. There's some left. I'll do it. I'm going to finish this off. My Japanese kettle, which is kind of awesome. I highly recommend it if you can get it. Pick one up. They're really cool because they have the ability. You can put the pouch in there, or if you don't have the pouch, it has the screen in there to to brew the loose leaf tea. If you're into loose leaf tea, it's pretty cool. Loose tea, loose leaf, like a book. Nancy, how are you, buddy? Honey, how are you? Thank you for joining. You missed my story, though. I can't retell the story. You're going to have to go back if you want to hear the story. But it's pretty cool. I think you'd like it. Go back and, if you get a chance, go back and listen to it. It's pretty cool. And it's not a story that's readily available. It's literally a word of mouth story. And it's only been found, I believe, in an article. Someone wrote an article about it once. I was looking in one of the local publications. Someone wrote an article about it once, and it's in there. But it's never been published, so to speak, anywhere. It's all been, just a legend and a word of mouth story. So what is everybody else doing today? The Devils are on tonight. I believe they're in bad shape. They lost their first two games, so hopefully they'll keeping my fingers crossed. Hopefully they'll get back on track. Yeah, Ralph, you can get the kettle. Believe me, it's not a big deal. It's nothing special, but it's a cast iron kettle, and you can get it online. It's pretty nice. I don't think it was too expensive. Someone, again, somebody gave this as a gift. I didn't buy it myself, so I don't know exactly how much it costs, but a lot of these things are gifts. People give you interesting gifts, and I keep them. I like them. I like unique stuff like that. Don, you're getting ready for work. That's right. It's Monday there. Yes, and Ralph has a show tonight, as usual. It's Sunday night, so he has his show at 7:30. Going back to sleep. Okay. All right, Adam. Thank you for joining. Appreciate it. Yeah, they do. They do. They do come from behind. They are for some reason, they are a come from behind team. And they're a young team. They're really young. Most of them are rookies or second year players. So I think this whole season, regardless of what happens, is a very successful season. And it gives a lot of hope for the future. So that's my tea. I'm all done. Thank you, Nana, for the cup. Every time I have a cup of tea in there, I think of my Nana. Control over the weather. Yeah, yeah. Well, it's kind of warm out today. It's really spring like today. The air conditioner was going on over here because my house gets hammered with sunlight when it's clear skies. So it's really warm. And a lot of the trees don't have full leaves on them yet, so it feels hotter than it should be. Well, thank you, Stiggs. I appreciate that. I really do. I appreciate that. I'm glad that people are tuning in. Hi, boss lady. Thank you. You are no longer blocked. I can see you are no longer blocked. You are in the chat, and I still have no proof of how that happened, or I have no clue how it happened. It could have just been a mistake by somebody. I don't know. It's just bizarre how that happened. Well, thank you, Maureen. I appreciate that. And I'm going to continue to do these. It's something that I really like doing. I love storytelling. So why not do something you like to do, right? That's what I'm going to do. And like I said, if you have stories, email me. And if you want to come on and tell it, you can do that. That's fine. Or you can send me the story and I'll tell it. My email is right here, TheGuild-ALV@gmail. Pretty easy to remember. Email me and let me know. I would be very interested to hear stories from other people that I don't know, like other stories that I haven't heard. That's the best part about it, is listening to new stories. It's awesome. So 12 people are still hanging around. That's pretty cool. The story's over now. The tea is drunk. There's nothing left. Nothing left in the tea. So I do have some water here. Stories from the Pine Barrens. Oh, yeah. Big bones. Tons of New Jersey Devil stories come from there, without a doubt. Thank you, Tom, for stopping by. I really appreciate it. So, yeah, maybe that's something. I could look into that. A couple of New Jersey Devil stories. So with that, I'm going to kind of wrap this up because my stories are done. My story is done. And I'm not one to just sit here and babble. I do not have the gift of gab, as they say. And I don't want to waste you good folks' time, because I do appreciate you spending some time with me. 37 minutes is plenty for a Sunday afternoon. So if you haven't had dinner, I hope you have a wonderful dinner and enjoy and relax and prepare for the week ahead, because it'll be here before you know it. It's already here for Don. He's already on Monday. But our Monday's creeping up quickly. So, in terms of Thursday's wine tasting, I think I'm going to do the Austrian wine because I'm really personally curious as to what it tastes like. Never had one before or haven't. I think I may have had one many, many years ago, but I do not remember anything about it. So it's going to be a unique experience for me in the type of grape and a wine coming from Austria. So I really want to do that this Thursday. The only caveat is that I got to see if there might be a lacrosse game or something that I have to attend for my sons. But if not, we will go steaming ahead for a red Austrian wine this Thursday. So, think about joining me. I got it at Bottle King. I'll post it up on the community tab so you'll have it. Or maybe I'll even do a short about it real quick so that it's readily out there if anyone wants to get it. It is cheap. I think it was $12. So you're interested. And I will and it's actually already up on my community page. It was one of the 3 that we did the voting on last week. So it's the Austrian wine. It's the I forgot what it's called, Evolution, something like that. It starts with an E. Evolucio, I think is the name of the one. Evolucio. But I will put it up again, this singular picture of it up on the community tab. All right. Yes, Dindo. Yes. Don't jinx me. Don't jinx me. I'm close. Don't jinx me. I hope I only need 45 more, but we'll see what happens. I still have a million miles to go in terms of watch hours. There just isn't. I'm nowhere near that. I don't even have 500 watch hours somehow. I don't know how that's possible. I mean, it shows that I have I don't know. It shows me like I have 1,500 watch hours, but only 480 of them go towards monetization, which I don't understand at all. I have no clue what that means, why that would be. They don't give you any explanations. So who the heck knows? But yeah, so that's what's coming up on Thursday. And, as always, I thank you. Please build a guild. If you like this, come back, share with someone else, recommend it to someone else if you want. Love to get more people listening to the stories, exchanging, enjoying a Sunday afternoon. So with that, I'm going to say, as always, thank you for watching The Wine Guild. And remember to build the guild. ALV signing off. Have a wonderful Sunday and a great week coming up. Bye-bye.